Literally the only noise spoiling the beauty of the silence of the prairies is blinking pigeons in those grain bins. Hard to believe it. Minus 33, minus 34 at daybreak. And we had a high of minus... Okay. We had a high of minus 17, 18 today, and it felt like minus 13 according to the weather guessers. And then 3 days from now it's to be minus 35 at daybreak. And then 9 days from now it's to be 0. Yeah. That is the ludicrousy. That is the craziness of this country. Well, folks, all Piper Doug's in new territory. We're in a Bobcat and we're loading up the stuff for the Tango Turd. I better get going. Yeah, this is not how you normally want calving season to start. So yeah, I haven't been filming a whole heck of a lot. Yesterday was super busy day. I think I showed in a previous clip me in the Bobcat up at Shoal Lake, loading up a new hub assembly for the orange tractor, and we'd already been to Brandon and picked up the skid steer tracks, which from buying them on Tuesday and showing up by Friday lunchtime. So big shout out to the company. I don't remember offhand off the top of my head, but I will put a screenshot in here of the website. Very reasonable, competitive pricing, free shipping within Canada, which is rare. And yeah, good crew of guys over at Manitoulin Transport got me loaded up quick as anything. So what are we doing today? Well, when we come home last night from fetching stuff, thinking, well, let's get the orange tractor put back together because there's lots to do before calving season. Well, came home to find out that calving season was starting 10 days early. A wee cow who's not normally amongst the first group calving, she was presenting bloody gel. So we thought, okay, well, we'll keep an eye on her. So checked on her through the night and she never really progressed much further. And as you all know, the calving barn's not set up yet, so I thought, well, she's not showing, no water bag came out, nothing, so we'll leave her be till morning. Came out this morning first thing, and I mean first thing, not Piper Doug first thing, and there was more of the bag hanging out of her, but still no calf show. So me and the boss lady, we walked her out of the corral, we got her around the corner, we managed to get her into the new calving barn and into the maternity pen, and went and grabbed the chains, got my hand in there, and all I can feel was the calf's tail head. So it is tail first into the birth canal, and you all know what that means. Henceforth, we are loaded up. And yes, this is one of the issues. The Verdon Animal Hospital is a brilliant place to go to. Now, when it comes to calving season and on call, you are winning like winner chicken dinner if you've got Dr. Joe, or you've got Nadine on call, because they will load up and they will be at your farm within an hour. However, this weekend it's Carla, Dr. Lowen is on call. Now, a lot of people have their own opinions on Carla. Carla's a great vet, but Carla's a small animal vet. She doesn't do farmyards. She can in a controlled environment. Henceforth, if you want Carla to work on the cow after hours, you have to bring calving, who's not a pet, is very calm. Now that's got a lot to do with Mrs. Piper Duck, who has a way with animals. She manages to calm this guy. So we managed to get her, we got her into the maternity pen, and then we backed up the truck into that corner, and the wee girl just took a couple of rotations and then she walked right on the trailer. So we'll bring you back once we're done down over the vets, and like I said, there, I'm very doubtful that calf's alive, but you never know. Well, that's us on the way home. So yeah, that definitely answered why there was issues. It was twins. It's a decent sized 80-pound steer calf, bull calf, was butt first into the birth canal, and then there was a little like 65-pound heifer calf pushing. So we managed to get the two calves out. Well, Dr. Lowen managed to get the two calves out. I assisted without having to do any cutting or anything. So yeah, it's kind of a crappy start to calving, but as everybody knows, usually the first calves in calving season, especially when they're early, are because of drama. So they're either preemies or problems, so, or both. So we're gonna get home. We'll probably leave Mum in the trailer with the twins so she can do her licking thing and simmer down and all that stuff, and then we'll get a game plan. I messaged our local feedlot, the Cadillacs up the road, to see if they were taking any cows on the weekend, because of course it's a Saturday. I haven't heard back from Gina, but I imagine that I won't be able to just drive up there and drop this cow off, but it was worth a try. Anyway, back to the farm. There you have it, folks. Cows are shut in. Day late, not a dollar short. And yeah, so now we dig out these panels. There is Liam pushing snow to get these pens ready. And yeah, sadly the old cow that lost the twins, Gina up at Cadillacs, big shout out to the girls there. We're there processing some cows up at Cadillacs on a Saturday. And she said, yep, sure, we'll take her. So dropped her off at Cadillacs and dropped the babies off at the recycling place. And now I am going to go and see if I can get that orange beast back together. Just had young Charlie Erie, who is the son of the guy that has the workshop where I get all the work done. He started his own little business, welding business, so he's gonna make me up a gate. So to take the place of that gate there by the calving barn that doesn't work anymore because of the screw up on the measurements. So that's where we're at. Meanwhile, we're watching some of these heifers getting pretty fresh. So yeah, it's fair enough to say that I think calving has started with a bump, but it's hopefully gonna get better. Well, like I said, we have our differences. We have our differences, me and the ones up at Show Lake. But I'll give Chris his dues. Every time I've texted him today on a Saturday, he has walked me through what to do. There you go. The new shaft is in. I had to pull the shaft out of the hub. I thought I might be able to get away with lucky to run the shaft in, and it might be close enough to just spin it and climb it into the threads. No luck. I thought I had to unscrew this whole locking ring to drop this part out to let the shaft out. Turns out it's just take a circlip and the sun gear out, and then you just slide the whole hub right off the drive shaft. Once I did that, 5 seconds I had the drive shaft into the diff. Now putting the kingpins in was different. So I asked Chris how they do it, and he said, well, you just line them up and you waylay the living shigers out of them with a block of wood or a brass drift. I didn't have either. What I did have was a bolt that was thin threaded the size of the kingpin. So I ran it right down into the bottom of the pin, and then I just used it as a dead drift. And I managed to center the pin all the way in, enough to get the caps on and then just work its way in. The bottom one had a little bit of harder time getting it to line up and then hammer it up the way. As you can tell, that would be a harder thing to do. They're in. I still got to torque them all, but I'm not going to torque everything until I've got everything together. So now I just got to put the sun gear on, put the planetary back in. There was no gasket on this, so I don't know what the deal with that is, but I will put a light film of gasket sealer on this before I put it back together. Then grease the ever-loving bejesus out of the kingpins. Then before I put the wheel in, I will rotate the planetary and put the gear oil back in. I'll filter it first. And then, need I say, fingers crossed, we'll bring you back. Well, folks, we're making headway. So I've used some sealer around that, because that's about all that the guy could tell me. He just used some red silicone, or I had black silicone. So yeah, just to grease, fill with oil. Fingers crossed, come back out tomorrow and we can put the wheel on and go back to work. Get this guy out of here. We got 3 more days of real cold weather, and then a week from Monday we're to be +6 and nighttime of around 0. So figure that one out. Okay, I am gonna go and check on the Liam. Maybe bring you along just for a wee walk. It's supper time already. And it is pretty cold. And it's to be, like I said, cold for the next 3 or 4 nights. And then, as far as I know, that's us out of this nonsense for a wee while. But yeah, as I said, the cows are shut in. Calving unofficially started. Got a couple of heifers we're going to be starting to do night checks on. A black one and a red one. Apart from that, we will be back at this in the next video. So yeah, unofficially we had first cow in the calving barn. Didn't go so well, but so yeah, take a look at that. Quite the mountain. So I'll give him his marching orders so we can go get supper. Tidy bye everybody. Hey Liam.